I'm Ling Hui from Autism Service. I'm currently under training to become a behavior analyst. We all know that teaching soft skills to children with special needs can be a real challenge. This is because it requires a lot of guidance and practice for our little ones to become independent. But don't worry, we have some tips for you to help you out. First thing first, you need to figure out which set of skills you need to prioritize on and when to start teaching them. Look at the self-care development milestone would be a good way to find set of skills that are appropriate for your child's age. You can look into the assessment that included in Early Start Development Model or ASDM, which is a form of behavioral therapy that based on the principles of applied behavior analyst. Our parents can always contact your child's developmental pediatrician for more information of self-care development milestones. Now let's talk about these milestones. Kids between 2 to 5 years old tend to achieve soft skills in a certain order. Here's a rough breakdown. At 2 years old, they can start feeding themselves with a little mess, drink from a cup appropriately, and take off their shoes and socks. Between 2 to 3 years old, they can unbutton big buttons and feed themselves simple meal using utensils. Around 3 to 4 years old, they can dress and undress by themselves, accept tricky stuff like buttons and laces. They can even brush their teeth independently. When they hit 4 to 5 years old, they can choose the clothes according to the weather and dress up themselves without help. Finally, at 5 to 6 years old, they can complete their morning routine at school, like putting away their bag and placing their water bottle at the correct spot. They can also pack their stuff for school outings, but might still need some assistance. Talking about the self-care development milestones, now we know that which skills to focus on and when to teach them. So how are we going to teach the skills? Picture it this way. Every task like washing hands and getting dressed is actually made out of a lot of little actions. Thus, it's very important to break down a complex skills into smaller, teachable units so our kid can go through each steps to learn the self skills. What you need to do is to perform the skills on yourself and write all the actions in the list. You may also ask another person to perform each step on the list that you have made to check if any step is missing. For washing hands, your kids need to turn on the tap, get soap, rub soap in the hands, rinse their hands, turn off the tap, dry their hands with a towel, and put away the towel. Similar for brushing teeth, there's a whole list of actions to complete. Alright parents, once you got the list of tasks ready, it's super important to know when each step has been done right. So let's set some criteria for success. For example, when it's hand washing time, you can tell your child to scrub their hands 3 times each. And also, remember to place the towel in the middle hanger instead of the side. When applying the soap, not only apply on the body and also the limbs, hands and legs. If your little one still needs help or is still struggling with some steps, no worries. You can break them into even smaller actions. Take wipe hands for instance. You can break it down further into reach out the towel and wipe 3 times on each hand. Or when asking your kid to pack their school bag, you can break down the steps of keep the snack box into the bag, into open the bag, place the snack box in the bag, and zip up the bag. Simple, right? Here's an example of the task analysis for initial steps and expected step for tying shoes. about how can we gradually help our kids to become more independent in learning self skills. During the teaching process, it's important to gradually reduce the amount of help that we give. For example, when we teach our kids to close the tap during hand washing, we'll start from hand-on-hand guidance. But once they get the hang of it, we can switch to graduate guidance, which means only provide assistance if necessary, or using gesture, or giving verbal instructions. The goal is to gradually reduce the amount of help for any steps they can do that by themselves, so they can become more self-reliant. Now, when it comes to teaching the skills, there are 3 different approaches that you can take. First is forward chaining, which you start from the first step from the list and slowly introduce the following steps once the previous one is mastered, until you complete all the actions from the list. It works well because the first step is usually the easiest one and also gives them some momentum to keep going. Another approach is backward chaining. Here you begin from the last steps and work your way back, with you completing all the steps except the last one until your child mastered all the actions from the sequence. Lastly, for skills that your child can do partially, you can provide assistance whenever it is needed until the kids can complete all the steps by themselves. When your child completes activities, it's great to give them at least realistic praise or rewards. But remember, the reward should be natural and related to the task. For example, they can have some TV time after showering, enjoy their favorite snack after setting up the dining table, or have a cozy story time after brushing their teeth and putting on their pajamas. Moving on, it's crucial to generalize the skills into different settings. That means making sure your child can perform the task independently, not just at home, but also at school or in public places. For instance, they are able to wash their hands at home and also toilet in school or in public restroom. And let's not forget to generalize across different individuals too. For example, they should be able to put on their pajamas with other parents at bedtime. And to make sure the skills stick over time, it's important to create opportunity to practice and provide additional teaching when needed. Also remember the expectations of the kids along the development milestones are different. For example, the expectation for the kids at 2 to 3 years old to dress up is unbutton large buttons. But for kids of 5, you might expect them to zip the zipper and button smaller buttons. This helps reinforce and strengthen their abilities. You're doing a great job, parents. Keep supporting and teaching your child those important self skills. And thank you for watching this video. I will see you next time.